once again with Driven for Life, drivenforlife.com, and today coming to you with another Saturday session. So 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to dive in a little bit more meat here, and actually came down here today to a playground while the kids are in school, and it came down here for a reason, and that is specifically because I want to talk to you about whether we grow up to become leaders or we're born leaders. And I heard that topic brought up, it was about 2-3 weeks ago, and it was by Donald Trump of all people. And so the question was put to him, said, do you believe leaders are born or are they made? And so his answer intrigued me, because his answer was he believes leaders are born. Meaning, if you're born a certain way, and you can't become a leader unless you're born a certain way, whatever that means. So you're genetically made up. And he was pushed on the question a little bit. So you believe that somebody who isn't born with whatever the leader gene is can't become a leader. And then he started backpedaling, because then there were example after example of people that grew up that, well, you know what? Maybe they were timid. Maybe they were shy. Maybe they were an introvert. Maybe they weren't as aggressive. I mean, there's all these traits that you might put as a typical leader. Yet, people have the ability to change and become whatever they choose to be. Now, that being said, we may be born with a predisposition to being better at things. So he started backpedaling as well, and which was interesting to see Donald Trump do that. Yet, the whole thing here is we're all born different. We're all born with different genetics. So some of us are big, some small, different colors, all those things. And we also, our brains are wired different. They've proven that. So we may... And there's all these different books and different philosophies and different ways of breaking down the human brain. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the different categories, like a Myers-Briggs breaks you down into 16 different groups, or what color's your parachute, or emergenetics is one, disc profiles. There's so many different things out there to say, let's find out how you're unique. One I really like, I've mentioned this in previous clips, is Marcus Buckingham goes in and now discover your strengths. I was watching a video clip from him the other day, and he started getting into his philosophy, which his philosophy is, if you take he's addressing a whole panel of people, and he goes, how many of you are parents? And a whole bunch of people raise their hand. And he goes, you're part of the problem. And they all start laughing, but it's true, and I'll give you more detail. He flashes up there a report card. He goes, okay, take a look at this report card. Your kid comes home from school, and it says, English A, PE A, algebra F, and social studies, a C. Where do you apply your time? And he said, and he goes, 70 some odd percent, 77% of people said in America, apply your time directly to that F. Start working on the F and improving that grade, because that's the failure. And Marcus Buckingham's belief is apply your energy, get that up to a comparable level, absolutely, but apply your energy to the A. Apply it to the English. Why? Because that child, for whatever reason, is predispositioned to be great at English. And where are we spending most of our time? Hey, you got to get that F up. Great, you did an A. Let's spend our time here. There was another story, but when refrigerators first came out, and I find this very interesting, because it was actually something from a sales training a long time ago, but everybody used to have ice boxes. If you ever watched The Honeymooners, they got the box and they got the ice they're chiseling out of there, and a long time ago, black and white show, probably don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the ice boxes used to be the way the world worked. So everybody had an ice box, which is just a box that's insulated. The iceman would actually bring you, chip off some ice with an ice pick, put it in your freezer, keeps everything cool, and it, refrigerates stuff till the ice melts, and then he's got to come back, and that was the way it worked. And then a company comes out with refrigerators. And obviously a refrigerator, and the way they set it up, instead of having to buy this $1,000 refrigerator or whatever it was, or I don't know how, probably back then, $50, $100, but whatever. They, instead of having people have to buy that up front, they said, simply pay us the same amount you're paying the Iceman for the next year, and then after that, you never have to pay another dime. And now you have a refrigerator. Iceman doesn't have to come. Keeps everything cool. Everything's great. Why wouldn't you do it, right? Well, it was very interesting because they go out, they send their sales force, they're equipped, they go out and they do all this stuff. They got this revolutionary thing. And only 25% of the people actually purchase a refrigerator. 25%. And this feeds back into all of us are different, but that 25% said, oh, it's new, it's cutting edge, they're forward thinking, they're going, you know what, that sounds great. Another 25% said, looks interesting, not right now. And then the other 50% were like, no, I have nothing to do with it. So the company, completely confused, goes, what happened? And so they go out and they do a survey, so to speak. And here's what they found out. 25% were those forward thinking. That's the way they were genetically made up, or they were built, or whatever it is. They looked at things, they said, yeah, I want the next cutting edge thing. The next 25% said, after a little bit of inquiry, and they came back around the second time, another 25% said, yeah, I'll get it. But it took more information. It took a little bit longer. And they needed the first 25% to buy it and say, oh, it's okay, and a little bit of time in there. But the second 25% bought it. The third 25% said, well, since, and this is after 50% have bought, they said, well, since all of them have bought, okay, now we will. The last 25% wouldn't buy until the Iceman went out of business. They weren't going to change no matter what. Now, why do I say, this ties back into, we're all different. We all have a purpose. We all have makeup that is different, not makeup on our face. We all have a makeup, our being is made up differently. And yet, you know what? Each one of us has a role to play. Each one of us brings strengths and expertise to the table that really do impact the world in a positive way. So, ultimately today is about discover your strengths, know what they are, live in your strengths, know it's okay to be different, and know every single person out there has their expertise to bring to the table. And when you bring that expertise, you make the world a better place. So thank you for your time. Thanks for spending extra time with us today. Eric McGrath, Driven for Life, drivenforlife.com. Make today your best day.